Anyway, so what am I summarizing? Yeah. So we found stuff about this Marie patient 1 and about patient 0. Um, and so it sounds like one of them, and I suspected at the time and speculated that that might be Leysha and Halsey. So here's the thing. We think that Leysha was turned by Richard. That's the backstory we've had so far. Um, he doesn't say who she is. But she's patient 1 and her name is Marie. I'm thinking it's Leysha. And I guess Halsey got turned and then fed off her mother, or off Leysha at least, and then there was an accidental turning in that. The subject came to terms with her condition this evening. I did not hypnotize her this time. The vessel consented, which simplified things. Okay, that's just another vessel, is my guess. She must progress more quickly. Quentin demands to see her, but I do not believe we are ready yet. Our sessions are starting to produce results. So, that Quentin is interested in Marie. We know that Leysha did work for Quentin with her, prescient abilities. Prescience? Somehow I lost how that word is pronounced. Prescience. I think that was it, right? I don't know. Okay. Fascinating alliance, perhaps a result of the memory manipulation, but there are no behavioral changes. Subject seems to retain feelings that are unusual for kindred. Quentin King seems to be thoroughly charmed, the court as well. Specimens such as these are exceedingly rare. Her premonitions are extremely detailed and specific, however she has an increasingly difficult time recovering from them. Prescient, okay. I don't know why that suddenly disappeared from my brain. Admittedly, it's a bit warm here. Okay, I prefer to distance myself from the court. Subjects 0 and 1 are called upon too often. I fear that 0 will lose control again. So we know Marie is prescient, so it's probably Leysha. So that means Halsey probably lost control. And that makes sense that there's a problem with the child. It's laggy for a bit and now stabilized. Good. 2015. I think 2015 was when he said, like we found a letter in Hazel's place that said that he had taken care of Halsey, and I think that might have been 2015. I had to accept her request. I do not know the impact this will have given her natural inclinations. 2016. I warned the prince of the risk she is taking, that it interferes with and distorts my research, but she would not listen. Fortunately, slumber stabilizes her for now. She must absolutely take her treatment each time she wakes up. And that, again, is something we know about Halsey. Leysha. And Leysha then said, this story seems familiar, and where have I seen the name Marie before? So, suspicion is she remembers that that was her, unless there's some extra twist. So we'll see how this turns out, if I'm right or not, but so far everything still seems to support that story. Okay. Oh, what does the... Okay, we found all the suspicious items. That's good. So we need to find Richard, and we haven't found Wyatt, so I guess that'll probably never work out. Okay, we can't go up there. And I don't think there's anything else here. Danger, biological hazard.
This hallway.
I was just about to say, this looks like the hallway from the premonition or whatever, you know, that we had at the start. Uh-oh. What was that voice? Oh.
I won't tell anyone. I'll leave now.
Okay. There's some white-haired guy. I don't think we recognize him. They seem... He said I want more? So a lot of these people seem to be either there after blood or they seem to be addicted to something. This perspective is very weird. It's as if they're saying, well, she's not tall enough to look through here. Okay, this guy's just standing there. Okay. I mean, these might be... You know, we've read about how when you give this Trajax to humans, so these may be the failed experiments. What? Did he just say something? Someone sitting on the floor. Why did I say something? Someone sitting on the floor. How does she know? Why do I...
What the?
Why do I suspect that Halsey is in here?
Mom? Halsey. What? It's okay. No, wait!
That's not good.
What the?
Okay, so it was both. She hallucinated.
Wait! Come back!
Where was she? There, okay. Don't go outside. No! Not good.
Halsey! Halsey?
Uh-oh.
No. No, it can't be true. She's not real. It's all in my head. If she wasn't real, that man wouldn't have seen her. No, not you. You don't exist either. If they hadn't seen her, they wouldn't have shot at her. You disappeared! I was doing better! Leysha, look at me. You're fine. But you have to find what you lost. No! I won't listen to you. I didn't lose anything. Huh. Richard has scrambled your brain so much that you don't even remember. What are you talking about? Who you really are, of course. I know who I am. Are you sure? If that's true, then tell me. Who are you looking for?
Alright, it dipped a bit into the red again. I think it should be okay again now. Yeah, so on my iPad it seems fine. So if you're getting like a VtSync or something, or maybe reload, but it should have recovered. Like, there was a short dip. I don't know how much you caught, but what happened was we found a room with Halsey in it, and Halsey ran away from Leysha. And then ran into the hands of the, what they called, SI? The vampire hunters. Oh, and there we are dipping into the red again. I guess I'll wait a little to hope that it recovers. Now it's green again. Let me actually swap those two screens, which might just make it a little easier for me to see when it goes in the red, or maybe not. I think that should work. Okay, it's green again for me. I hope you're all back. But anyway, and they shot and staked Halsey, so that means she wasn't a hallucination. And so now, of course, we'll have to figure out what's going on. And now apparently we're talking to ourselves. Works. Okay. Well, that spelling worked as well. Works. It was perfectly phonetic. Anyway, so what did we do? So we know he said an accidental turning. He didn't really say who turned who. So there is that. So we don't know if Leysha fed on her daughter and turned her, or if the daughter was the vampire and turned Leysha. But it seemed like it was in the file of Marie. and she was supposedly prescient. And so I'm kind of suspecting that Marie is Leysha, and it said she had trouble coming to terms with what she was. So I'm suspecting that Leysha was turned by her daughter and not the other way around. And that they then arrested locked up Halsey and basically told Leysha that she was dead. And that also could explain the thing. The letter we found from Richard was ambiguous. Like, he said something like, didn't he say something like took out or something, what he did with Halsey? So my guess is, and I wasn't sure that meant he had killed her, or whether that was like this science fiction notion of taking a second personality and eliminating it in a person with split personalities, and then it had returned, was what we were speculating about, right? So, not 100% sure how this goes here. So yeah, so this is really interesting. Like, we still don't really know it, but we have a lot of rumors. Okay, I guess we'll try this now and hope we don't fail. Wait. This is weird. We had 1-0, didn't we? Why is it suddenly 1-1? Weren't they both 1-0? Yeah, it feels weird that it's 1-0 against herself. But I just tried out, can I focus this? And then they both went to the same level. So that seems kind of weird. You know what? Let's experiment. I'll screw it. If I fail, I'll fail. If I focus, yeah, now it's 1-1. Now they're all 1-1, but just a moment ago it was 1-0. Let's go for I want my daughter and see if... I don't know if the 1-0 was a bug or the 1-1 now is, but I guess we'll see.
Look, I don't know what you want from me. Help me, please. All I want is to get my daughter back. But your daughter died ages ago. You'll never get her back. Ugh! You're confusing me. I don't understand a word of what you're saying. There's no point in trying to force my hand. I'm you. It's useless. You're like a jigsaw puzzle that's been broken into 1,000 scattered pieces. If you don't take the time to piece yourself back together, the rest is pointless. But I don't have time! You don't have a choice. Take the time you need. Please. Give yourself a chance. You're worth it. Even if I wanted to, I wouldn't know where to start. I can help you. Let's start from the beginning. Try to remember. What's your name?
Alright, so here's the thing. I just remembered. I think we saw... there was a story about... like one of the lab reports was about... I think it was about Patient Zero, who we didn't really know who it was at the time. And they said something about trying to find someone she would bond to. You know, and that she had killed, I think, a number of people that they tried to set up with her. And so, I think, you know, it makes sense that maybe Halsey is not actually her daughter, but that she lost her daughter. Oh God, what if... So here's the thing. He said he took out Halsey. What if the girl is not Halsey? I don't know where she has the name Juliet from. Whether that was in that document. But it kind of sounds, you know, like, so here's what could have happened. If we want to tie all this together and say that most of it is true, what if Leysha had a daughter named Halsey? Halsey got turned into a vampire, accidentally turned Leysha. Then Richard was told, eliminate the daughter. And that, of course, basically destroyed Leysha. And then they had this other child. And basically, you know, made them believe that Halsey was Leysha's daughter. So that they would take care of each other, thereby keeping Halsey from being dangerous, or keeping the girl out there, I mean, from being dangerous. The new Halsey, so to say. And giving Leysha something to, you know, no longer be distraught about the loss of her daughter, because her daughter is still alive. So this could be one theory. The other thing is, we saw the dead woman there. So, what if Leysha had a daughter? That daughter was not a vampire. And, the girl out there was a vampire, and they took Leysha to her to be fed upon. And in the process of that, the girl accidentally turned Leysha, which is why Leysha had such a problem with having been turned and being a vampire. And then they mixed up their mind and told her, hey, that's your daughter. And her daughter, she's from, like, what was it? Was it the 1930s or something? So Leysha's real daughter probably, died 30 years ago or something like that. And of course, we've read that patient 1 is Marie. So that, in that context, would make sense. So I think there is something where somehow their brains were jumbled so that Leysha thinks that the girl out there is her daughter, which she isn't. And either the daughter died as a human somewhere or died in some horrible accident, I don't know. Maybe even the girl out there killed Leysha's daughter. Or Marie's daughter, as it was. But I guess the girl out there is not Halsey, because I think Halsey might be the name of Marie's daughter. And so, because, like, the last thing we said is something like Halsey, and then she ran away. So she kind of... Maybe that's related, that we used the wrong name. So I guess, since we read that article and it said Marie, let's assume... I mean, they could be doing the ultimate with us. What if... Nah, but that doesn't fit. Like, I was just thinking, what if Leysha was actually the daughter? What if Halsey was Leysha's name, but that doesn't fit in with anything we've read? Like, we've heard Marie, and I don't remember where Juliet was. Can we... Oh, we... No, we can't... We can't actually go into our inventory and read stuff now. We have to remember it. So I think we read about someone named Juliet probably in one of the reports, but I don't remember. So I'm kind of assuming Juliet may be the name of the girl out there, Marie may be Leysha's real name, and Halsey may be the name of Juliet's real dead daughter. Of Marie's real dead daughter. Okay, let's try this, I guess.
I think... Yes? I saw a name on a patient file. I think my name is... Marie. Yes! I knew you'd remember. Welcome back, Marie. It's coming back to me. Let's try something else. But don't think about it too much. Trust your instincts. Say the first thing that comes to mind. Alright. Who is Richard?
Halsey Sire? My doctor?
Richard is my psychiatrist. He helps me control my beast. You know very well that's not what I'm trying to get you to admit. Of course he's your doctor, but that's not what I'm trying to bring to the surface. That's enough! Stop! I get the feeling that... No. You're not able to remember. I told you that I don't have time for this! Richard erased your memories. Everything that's happened to you and your daughter is his fault. Has always been his fault.
So he is
Find
Halsey's
her.
sire.
You'll see. I have to save Halsey. Let me go. It's happening again. I have to change my appearance to go any further.
Can we go? Oh, yeah, we can. Interesting that we can open that door while we're... Can we pretend to be you? Probably not. I think he would be a choice.
Shit, damn it! What the hell was that? Halsey.
Stay calm. She had no choice.
Shit, no! Fuck your protocol! Fuck those fucking monsters too!
Listen to me, damn it. She just saved all our asses. She blew herself up to protect us.
Yeah, but...
Calm the fuck down. You would have done it too. Any one of us would.
Cassie... Shit.
Okay, so that's where the elevator was. Okay. Okay. So I guess someone blew themselves up.
It's Richard. Halsey. Where are they taking her?
Huh.
What the fuck is that?
Steam. The pressure
That
must have
steam
gone up because
leak.
of the explosion.
Maybe that could help.
Fucking hot!
Be careful without your helmet on.
I can't see a damn thing with all this fog.
It's all right. It's stopped now.
Okay, so that's what we need that for. Okay. Okay, and they're here with the broken stuff. That's why there were so many safe rooms back here, and that's what the steam pipe is for, I guess. Oh. I guess he got in here. Find a way to follow Halsey. Find Richard. We already did that. What was that? That's kind of weird. Who are you? I guess you're one of the cops and you, what, killed a vampire? Did they kill Beryl or something? Or is that someone else they transported away? But so the question is, if Richard is in league with them, then they can't be normal vampire hunters, right? So... I'm still amazed that I can just open doors here. Okay. So now I guess we can pretend we're one of them. Interestingly, we didn't imitate the helmet. I don't know what's happening. Well, yeah, it's cool. It's not quite what you expected. It's finding Halsey sort of makes sense. Oh, right. We should probably consume our consumables. What is it? Eliminates 2 hunger. Yeah, I guess we can do that. And restores 2 willpower. Let's do that in case we have to do something. Okay. We don't have to go in there yet. So first, let's go in there. Okay. What does the pressure say now? Release pressure is what we could do here. That's emergency drain. Okay, center. Okay, what? Oh, okay, that's the dial. I'm not quite sure. Okay, the others go down a little. Let's see what this does. I don't think he's in fog anymore. Okay. So I guess...
It's starting again. Watch out.
Not enough yet.
Okay. So we kind of wanna fry him so we can follow, I guess. So... No, wait, nothing here. Okay, we've opened this already, and we can't close it again. So where was the other one? Okay. Oh.
All right, I'll take care of this office.
Anything of interest here?
Unintelligible documents. I think it's like they were doing some kind of ritual.
I'll go inspect another room.
Okay.
Okay. You're just food in case we need it. Fascinating. Save Tremere concoctions when you are desperate in case you use up all of the safe rooms. Good point. Yeah, I didn't think far enough, but you're right, I shouldn't have used it. Okay, let's look. Can we go in there? I don't know, it should kind of be... the other direction, I think. Not Okay, let's see if we turn this one down and this one down. Okay, oops, that's not necessarily. So the question is...
Ah, fuck! It burns! Ah! Duh!
Not enough yet.
Okay, so I think that was the middle one. No, is it the right one that we want to go up? Let's see.
Ah, fuck! It burns! Ah! Duh!
Not enough yet.
Okay, so that's the wrong one. Let's see. I don't know which is which. How am I supposed to tell that? The pipes don't really make sense, because they go in the floor. Okay, so the only one that's hot was the right one. So let's turn the middle one off. That looks promising.
Ah, fuck! It burns! Ah! Duh!
Not enough yet.
Okay. Then maybe it's the left one. I guess it always goes, it burns. Okay. Seems to be the last one.
Ah, fuck! It burns!
Walking into the same steam.
Not enough yet.
I think you might have to overload all three. Yeah. I'm not sure if turning those other wheels has screwed me already. Now I have two pretty high. That looks promising. I have no idea. Okay, that seems to be pretty high. Now turn this one up a little, maybe? And we can turn... I have no idea how this is supposed to work. It seems basically random. I don't know why would Like, I understand that you only have a certain amount, but like, if once it's gone down, why does it go up again? Well, now I have 2 on full. So does it reset and I kind of have to get it to maximum? But not over the top? I mean, this looks pretty promising. Let's see if that's enough.
Ah, fuck! It burns! Ah! Duh!
Not enough yet.
Apparently not. So I guess I have to get them all into the red, but it's kind of... So I need to get the right one. Ugh, that was the wrong button. So I think... the problem is that if I turn them and they turn off, turn over the top, some safety engages and they turn back again. So I wonder if each of them kind of turns all 3 by different values. So like if I turn this middle, let's start with the left one. So first let's get them all into a normal area. So now, if I turn this up, oh, then the middle one goes down again. That was weird. Oh, so that goes about half of the middle one? That actually sounds very... Ugh, nope. They're now all at maximum. Is that enough?
Ah, fuck! It burns! Ah! Duh!
Not enough yet.
Why does he keep standing there? I don't know, but hey, thanks. So I need to get them into the red deeper. But how? Nope, that was the wrong button. Okay, now let's see if I switch the... That looks pretty good. Let's see if that's enough. If they just have to be in the red. Given there is this dial and it's not in the red, my guess is no.
Ah, fuck! It burns! Ah! Duh!
Not enough yet.
Okay, so they all need to be on maximum? Was there one more thing in that area you haven't used yet? I don't think so. We had 2 wheels that we could turn. But I don't think there was a third one.
You want to come through, I have to scan your implant.
They have implants to scan, which of course we can't do. So we've turned this one on, which might have been a mistake. I'm really curious what was in here. I guess if we'd spec'd into security, we could probably have hacked this. So here is just where we got the missing flywheel. So nothing big. And there was this which we also turned. There was one more generic puzzle where I said it doesn't do anything. What else is there down here? I mean, we had the safe door, but the safe is open now, so I guess Beryl got in. Got that wheel next to the shelves already, yeah. But we haven't been in here yet.
Nothing to report here. You should go secure another area.
Okay, doesn't seem as if there's anything here. Can we close this again? Doesn't look like it. So... yeah, I don't really know anything else I can interact with.
Yes.
What happened here?
Cassie. She triggered her explosive belt. Most likely to protect us. Her death is really gonna shake everybody up. She was a good person.
Shit.
Yeah. Shit. Be careful until we clean up. The pipes were damaged in the blast.
Okay, thanks.
Just wait until I get my hands on one of those monsters.
Oh.
That's everything they found here. They're never going to give up on us.
Why do the boxes still have barcodes on them? I removed the barcodes. I don't even know what these flywheels were for, and the problem is I can't switch them back, which seems kind of weird. So I'm assuming that they want me to set both flywheels, but I have no idea. Wait, what? Waiting. Wasn't there a valve in Richard's office upstairs as well? I don't think that will help me much though, because I can't go upstairs. The elevator is blown up. So if there was a valve, I don't think I was able to, like, at this point I won't be able to trigger. Yep. That's where the elevator was. Interesting, there is an interaction dot, but I can't walk up here. So if there was a valve up there, then nope, I can't trigger it. Or maybe there's something here, but I don't think so. Can't open this anymore? Nope, no prompt. So definitely nothing. Oh, one thing I haven't done yet is I forgot to switch back on my Auspex. Let's see if that does anything.
Halsey.
All right, let's run around a little bit. Why is he not wearing his helmet though?
Everything they found here. They're never going to give up on us.
Yeah, the pneumatic tube system went up into his office. That might be what you were thinking of. Oh, here's something we haven't yet.
Reduce reduced to this. You'll pay. You'll pay for what you did to us. As long as I exist, you'll remain powerless, reduced to this. Staring at the ceiling of this basement.
Okay. So I guess that's another vampire they found? Or...
reduced to this.
yeah, okay, we've already seen that.
You'll pay for what
Oh.
you did to us. As long as I exist, you'll remain powerless, reduced to this. Staring at the ceiling of this basement.
Okay. Don't think I remember who that was. I don't think that was Beryl. So... Too much nose for Beryl. What if I... does this make any difference? Well, I don't know. Stupid walkthrough doesn't even have my case. Okay. That's fascinating. I mean, we're really close, but I don't understand. I wish I could set them all to 0 or something to get an impression of how much each turn changes everything. It's a typical thing about adventure games like these, that time freezes and all characters stand there repeating their one line. Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do if the player just takes too long for something? You can't, yeah, you basically freeze time, because that's the contract you have with the player, you know? Since, you know, you can't expect someone to be, you know, not everyone has the presence of mind that you would need if you were a vampire in this, and like the knowledge of all of like how a steam system works and things like that. I mean, that looks pretty good. No idea. I'm just brute forcing this at best, if I'm even getting that far. This looks pretty promising. Still not full, but they're all roughly in the same spot.
Ah, fuck! It burns!
It burns! Yeah.
Not enough yet.
What if I turn them all towards the left? Does that turn them off? Because, like, this makes no sense for valves. Like, this is not how valves work. Like, left just seems to subtract, and then if it rolls over, it seems to be open again. That's not how a valve works. That has a locked closed state and a locked open state. So this is basically just each of them adds a different combination. So let's see. The question is the center important? Do we maybe have to center them all? And what does bottom and top in this context mean? I opened two, yeah. One in the where the Trajax is kept, and one in front of the safe. I opened both. Definitely. But the question is, how do we turn these? Okay, let's see. So let's go to the left wheel and turn that once to the right. So that's like... left wheel turns 1.0. That's a 3.0 in the middle. And a 1.0 on the right. Mid. Those are the right turns. Okay, middle. Wait, middle. That's left is 2.0. Center is 1.0. And right is 1.0. And now the left turn. Oh, I forgot the right wheel. Okay. Okay. The right wheel turning right is 2.0. Three point zero and 1.0, and they seem to do the same reverse. So now let's see, what do I do? If so, I have left 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 on the left, 1, 2, 3 in the middle, and 1, 2, 3, 4 on the right. So 2, 1, 1. Middle seems to be the most sensible because the other ones turn the middle by 3, which means it would already be at maximum. Okay, that means I have 2, 2, 3 left. And now, do I have anything that does 2, 2, 3? 2, 1, 1 is the best. Okay. So now I would need 0 or what is it, 1? Oh, I actually miscounted. Because those steps are not 1, those are 2 at the minimum. But that's fine. So let's see, I just have to find out. The maximum is not 12, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, correct. Half of 12. So that means I need to do another 6 on the left wheel. I need 6 on the left. 1 and 2. So that's also not quite possible. Because if I do the 1 in the middle, then it's 0, and that means I need a 6 there. Okay, so let's see. What do I have? Okay, let's just try the right wheel, which moves us to... that's interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the next one also 5. And the last one is 1. So again, that's probably more like 7. I think that's like something like prime factors or something that I never quite got that would let you calculate this. So let's try right middle. Oh. Okay, yeah, so that's 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again? What? So now we're at 5, 5, 6. So I have no idea. I guess I just have to get it to a point where we are 1, 2, 3 steps close and then hope that it's one of the gears I can do. So that's... the middle is 1. That's nothing that's possible. Now this one is 0. That's also not possible. So basically I need to get... to 131 or 211 or 231. What's this? 2, 3, 2. Damn it. So close. So I can do... so if I do this one... yeah, it's just that one in the end. One, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, or 2, 1, 1 is what I need. And now I'm at 2, 2, 2, which I can't do. So I need each one is at least one apart. So if... And again, that's the 222 that I cannot do. That has a 0 in it that I cannot do. And the middle... Damn it, and that has a 0 again. But let's see if we can do 1, 3, 1 twice. That fits. That's the left wheel now. So if I do this once, we flip over to the 6, right? Yeah. Oh, damn it, to the 5? That's so close. Damn it. Okay, let's just see if that's maybe just enough or if we really have to get them to the top.
Ah, fuck! It burns! Ah!
Not enough yet.
Why didn't it? So if I turn this one back. It's at 12. And if I give it 3, which is what the middle adds here, why does it only go to 2? That's kind of weird. So overflow eats up 1. So I don't have a way to get the middle to turn around once. So I basically need everyone on 10. No, wait. I need 8, 8, 10. I'm sorry if I'm confusing because of course all the numbers I've noted down are in steps of 2 because I accidentally did it that way. Whereas the dials are twice as much, of course. And so if I say where it has to point on the dial, it's different. I should probably just change this to 2, 6, 2, 4. Let's write that again. 2, 6, 2, 4, 2, 2, and 4, 6, 2. All right, and now But the thing is, if I want to wrap around, I'll need it to be at 2 to be able to do it. So I need the middle at 2 and the left and right at 8. Does this do anything? Yeah. It's no longer fun, really. So let's just see. That was the middle. That doesn't do anything very useful, I guess. Now have none of this fits. That doesn't make sense either, I think. Spoiler time. Yeah, I guess it is, yeah. Unless it's like, am I pursuing the right... Like, am I doing this right and I'm just not patient enough, or is it a completely different solution? Like, it seems from what I see that, you know, the movement of each dial causes it to turn this much. But if you cause it to overturn, so for example, if I turn middle now, and then I would add, no, 4 is actually just to the end. But now, if I turn the middle now, the left one should get 4 added. But what it does is it takes 1 to jump to the 0. And then... Or 2, actually. 2 added to the 0, and so should only end up on 2. Yeah. And that's what it did. So I think I figured out how the individual dials work. And, you know, turning left is the same. But I really didn't, like, I can't figure it out without, I guess, doing some maths theory. Finding out. The problem is there is no way to reset, it seems. I think you got it right. The walk should click them in that order. Yeah, I could guess that given how they're positioned related to each other, Maybe that will work, or maybe I've screwed it up for myself already, because I don't have the initial position. So what does it say how to click it? I guess we can just try it, and if it doesn't work, then I'll have to ram my head against the wall some more. Or does it say what the initial location is? That would also be helpful, I guess. But I guess I could just try randomly triggering some of them and then turn to the right. One center. Okay. So center to the right. Then left to the right. And then again center, left, right, center. Yeah, that solution doesn't work anymore once you've tried it. Center, left, right, center. Yeah. So let's just turn one randomly and then do center. Center, left, right, center. That doesn't work. Turn this one extra. And then center, left, right, center. Center, left, right, center. I don't think it resets anything. Let's see, right now we're on 12, 10, 0. Let's see if it resets itself. Nope. Still the same.
Ah, fuck! It burns! Ah! Duh!
Not enough yet.
So, yeah. So, center, left, right, center. Let's just try it a couple of times and see if at one point I end up in the starting position. Center, left, right, center. Nope. Center, left, right, center. The question is, if we add together center, what if I don't want to do maths anymore? It's too hot. I wonder the other guy. said he'd fixed it. Can I talk to him?
I need to go to the loading dock. We have to assess whether the structure will hold after the explosion.
Oh well. Alright, but we still have a process to follow. I need to record you leaving the area.
Not just yet. I don't think I'm done here.
Do as you like.
I'll have to get by, even without this implant.
Ooh, trick system. So that would be an alternative? I didn't even see that. So, do we do that, or do we try the puzzle some more? I have to say, my teeth tell me that I'm not, that I think I've been grinding my teeth. Six to 2, we don't really have that, do we? We have 4 to 2. Wow. I managed to accidentally reset them all to 0. Maybe that's a good starting point. So let's see, we have to reach 12, 12, 12. Well, I don't think I can actually strategically do this without a wraparound. We have 4 to 2, so I could get it to 8 4 4. 12 6 6. But let's try the combination you said now, because I think center left. I would have started with center as well now. So center, left, right, center. Nope, that didn't help much. So now we need 4 4 4. Doesn't help any. So, how? I guess we'll try this. It was center, left, right, center. So that means center plus center is 8 4 4. Left is 2 6 2. 10, 10, 8. And right is 4, 6, 2. So that would be 14, 16, 10 that we do in total. So 14 minus... Wait, does that mean we can do odd numbers by wrapping over 0? So that means if I do the center with the left wheel, let's say, then I should get... Oh no, it takes 2 to get over. So it should be 4, right? Yeah. Okay, it's 2, not 1. So that means if I have 14, then I'm doing a turn, then I'm doing exactly 12 plus, like I'm doing 1 entire round, and the 2 above 12 are the ones to get past the 0. So that means the left one must have started out at 12. If I have 16, then I'm doing 14. So that means it must have been at 8, the center, so that it does 2 and then the 14 to end up at 12. And if it's a 10, then that means it has to have started at 2. So 12, 8, 2 would be the starting location. Let's see if we can somehow accidentally trigger that. 12 and 8. But we're 12, not 2. Always 12, 8, 12. Of course. No, if it has to go to 12 and we only make... Wait, did I calculate this? Yeah, right. 4... The 2 middle, and then left and right is 4, So that's 8. Wait, so that should be 6 and 8. Did I miscalculate that? Okay. So if it's 8 and not 10, then I need to be at 4 to get to 12 on the right. So let's just see. Hmm. Six, 6, that's not really useful. Okay, I can't do it. And it's giving me a headache slowly. So, I guess we'll try to trick it. And that's how we get out. Since we're not blowing up the whole place anyway.
Nobody gets through without scanning their implant.
Oh, I guess we tell him now. Okay.
Do you want to leave this time?
Yes.
Yeah. Here.
Okay. They didn't shoot us, so I guess we did it right. Would be embarrassing if she went like put her hand on it and then wait, the implant's in the shoulder. Okay, the next experience cost for any exploration skill -50 is what we gain. Leave no trace. Suspicion increases 25% less. That's nice. Success. You escaped unnoticed. You helped the vessel who was locked in. No compromising evidence was recovered by the SAD. You found all the suspicious items that threatened the Masquerade. Resonance bonus, dominate. I guess we kept that. Oof, yeah. I don't really like that I didn't solve that puzzle, but I guess there's an alternate solution. But you didn't discover Beryl's secret. And I didn't recover all of my memory. Yeah, my guess is the secret would have been if I'd had that ability. Ooh, okay. And now it's 9:30. So that's usually where we would have finished anyway on time. So I'm thinking I'm actually gonna call it a day here. Because I don't think I want to do another 1.5 or 2 hours, and at the least I would take a break. Which, you know, since we had the the stream drop earlier that kind of ate up the first break. Outrageous, finishing on time. Well, it's almost half an hour late. Just not 2 hours over like usual with this game. But anyway, so yeah, we've done this one, it seems. And next time, I guess we'll do the attack on the base of the Second Inquisition. Or SAD, or whatever they're called. We just get to pick, do we do MM's side or Galeb's side? So yeah. I hope you enjoyed it so far. Did any of you who played the game before, did you manage to solve that puzzle? And was it just that you were so patient that you just randomly tried it? Or did you actually strategically figure it out? I would be curious about that one. Just because it really didn't feel proper. Like something I could have easily figured out, I guess. I guess what I could have done is, you know, if I'd gone at it a little more methodically from the start. Like the next time I play this, I'll probably note down the numbers again, how the wheels work, and I'll note down what I started at. And like if I push anything, I would, you know, note down what I've pushed. To then find out, to then be able to go back at least to the starting position. Alright, I guess you're all as tired as me. Although I guess there is the 20-second stream delay, so who knows if I talked long enough. But anyway, I guess this is where I push this button to get to our finish screen. And yeah, as usual, next Sunday we'll continue this at 5 p.m. Central European Summertime. And it just faded out. Musk, did you just come in? I'm sorry. We're just ending. I'm sorry. This is our usual time. Yeah, so we'll be back at 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, if that's more your time zone. No, it's okay, Musk. I would love to continue streaming. This game is exciting. But on the other hand, I'm feeling really tired now from trying to solve this silly puzzle. Luckily, we found another way out that didn't require solving that puzzle. So yeah. Yeah, I don't think you've played this game yet, Musk, did you? Did you play this game before? Like, do you... Did you do this? Nope, you didn't. Okay. Yeah. Because I was just asking people in chat whether anyone had solved the puzzle or had, like I, taken the alternative exit. You haven't played games in 5 years. Okay. Wow. Is it like, did you decide you didn't want to play games anymore, or is it um or is it that you don't have a PC that they run on, or what made you not play in 5 years? Oh, you were too busy to play games, basically, is what you're saying? Okay, yeah, that's unfortunate. um, yeah. Well, then you were coming home tired. Yeah, yeah. I understand that. Um, Never guessed COVID would exist. I don't think. I'm not sure, but I think most people didn't have that on their radar. I mean, the way it first showed up was, like, oh, there's some cases of a new illness somewhere far away, and some people are saying it's dangerous, but like, I didn't see much news coverage until it was like, oh, it's in Germany and we have cases here and this will be a pandemic. And yeah. And then it went like, oh, don't buy masks. The people in the hospitals need those masks. Lots of like mixed signals until we ended up at this point in time. Now people offer you work from home mostly. Yeah. So are you still going to an office or something, or are you working from home now? But yeah. You're working from home right now. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I gotta admit, it's easier to stream when I'm working from home because because the whole commute is just not there anymore. So I have a little more time to sit down after work and play games and things. You're packaging mostly. Checking LEDs. Ah, okay. It's interesting that they just send you boxes full of the stuff home, and you stick them in the tester, and then put the good ones in one pot and the bad ones in the other, and then mail the good ones off, or what? Interesting. I hope they pay you for, or like, I hope you get to send the bad ones back as well, or get reimbursed for your garbage man. Like your trash bin being full of bad LEDs. All right. Birdies and birds house. Don't even know what that is. Like, is that like... Anyway, like, there's a lot of companies that offer work from home take advantage of their employees by, for example, not paying them for the internet connection they need to to do their work. And so, they save a lot of money and they don't pass it on to the employees. And like, the employee has to buy their desk and things like that. So most have closed their shops. They say buy from the internet. Yeah. But I mean, you get what I mean. Like, if I go to work, then of course my boss has to pay for a lot of stuff. He has to pay for the office rent. So for that extra room I'm doing my work in, my boss has to pay, or the company has to pay for the desk chair, a good chair for me to sit on, which, you know, and they have to, like pay for the desk and things like that. And of course, when I'm working from home, many people use the desk they already have, and so the boss doesn't have to pay for that. Or, people already have internet, and so the stores take advantage. The boss takes advantage of that, and it shouldn't be that way. Like, if you need something, and that's how it is in my company. Like, I have all that stuff sitting around here, so I mainly use stuff I already have, but I could go to my boss and say, hey, for example, I can go to the office and take a screen there and take it home, so I have a good screen to work from. Things like that, and I can actually go to my boss and say, I need this and that cable to attach my laptop, and then they'll order it for me and pay for me and things like that. And that's how it should be, that basically all the office equipment you need to do your work should be paid by your boss as an employee. And some companies just take advantage of their employees by not offering that and not mentioning that they really should be doing that. Anyway, people don't want to get. Oh, you mean like people want to work from home because. Yeah, I got to take a screen, but need my own internet and share. Yeah, technically, I think you should be able to have them pay for part of your internet. As a regular employee. Of course, it's different for self-employed people. Self-employed means you pay for all that stuff, but of course, your pay that you put on the bill, you make that comparatively higher. The difference is just it's your decision how much you ask extra, and that you will save in case you need a new desk or whatever, or a new laptop. And if you go to if your employer pays for that, then of course the moment your laptop breaks or something, you just go to your employer buys a new one, and you get it and you continue working. Whereas self-employed, it might be that you can't use you might just not have the money to buy yourself a new laptop, because maybe you only started 6 weeks ago, and so you have like $50 on the side from the first paycheck or something like that, and not enough to buy a new laptop. So either you pay for it yourself from just from like your personal savings, or you're out of a job because you have to tell your the people you signed up with to work for, hey, I can't do the job anymore because I don't have the laptop or whatever. Though there is some flexibility there. Like, I have a friend who works who works as a self-employed person, but currently has a contract currently works with a company, and he gets, like, they went, oh, you need this and that special laptop, and it should be locked down the way our employees' laptops are. And then he went like, well, I don't have such a laptop. I won't buy a laptop to your specification. If you want me to use a laptop like that, you have to supply me with one. And that, of course, works. True, they gave us all some small amount extra. I don't recall how much. Yeah, that's... Yeah, that... Like, there should be some... You know, it's also, like, you know, basically... You know, you wouldn't be sitting... A good rule, I think, like rule of thumb, of what your boss should pay you for is, would you do this if you were not working for your boss? Would you have certain things in your apartment if you weren't working for that company? So, for example, if you have a second desk for working in, like, a separate room, then many countries have it so that you can at least get a tax deduction or something for the part of the rent for this workroom if it's a completely separate room, and you can get like the tax back on the desk you bought maybe, and things like that. So they're even as a self-employed person actually, and so, you know, like it's a good thing, you know, to think about. You have expenses that you wouldn't have. Like if you were at the office, you would be going most of the time during the day, you would be going on the toilet at the office. And your boss would pay for the toilet paper and for the water. If you write something on paper for work and then throw it away, all that paper might cost you more in garbage disposal fees and things like that. So for all of that, you can then, you know, have a percentage reimbursed by your boss. Basically, the money your boss would pay for the office, for office garbage disposal, for desk chairs, or for just, you know, like your butt going through the seat cushions, like by using it, you know. If every day you sit on that chair 6 hours to do work, then of course means that chair won't last as long as it would usually last. And so all of these things you can usually get reimbursed by your company. The question is, of course, how much they will pay you, and sometimes they will go, well, we're not going to pay this because that's a comfort thing that you bought for yourself, not the chair, but like, you know, like if you buy a HDMI switch so you can attach both your personal computer and your work computer to the same display, then your company might go, well, we'll give you a display, your computer, and a cable to attach that computer. But if you're too lazy to swap out the plugs, we won't buy you an HDMI switch. You know, that's kind of, there they can decide like what is actually needed for work and what is just luxury. So, but yeah, like some companies just handle it in general that they go, okay, we give you this and that amount that is roughly what we spent, you know, on the office per person or something. You know, things like we expect you to use this much internet, so those 50 cents are in there, and the power usage, of course, that computer draws is in there, and things like that. Anyway, I think we've talked enough, and we're actually even 15 minutes more. Or 20, actually. Yeah, 22, and now it's almost 44. So anyway, it was fun, both playing the game and chatting with you all. I hope you'll be back. We'll be back, or I'll be back. I'll be back. No, I'll be back next next Sunday at 5 p.m. again. So that would be, let's see, it's 10 now. So about 5 hours ago, a little less than 5 hours ago in your time zone would be where we'll start next time. And there we'll start one of these chapters here. So you will have a nice new bit of story, and I'll do a nice little summary of what we've done so far. Oh, and we should probably check, if I have you here, let's see if there is someone we can raid. Let's see, anyone streaming that would be appropriate. Oh yeah, let's raid Rav. He seems to be playing music and singing songs. That sounds good. So if you want to come along, that's fine. If you can't stay, that's also fine. So, Raven Mackenzie, as he is called, is what is he? A Scottish, Canadian, Norwegian who plays music with his guitar and sometimes does karaoke. Really fun person, also a Satanist. I'm sure everyone here after this game will feel right at home. So see you there, I guess. If you can't stay, at least, say hi. So, and then leave maybe, so the raid at least looks a little better. And see you next week. Bye-bye.